Okay, so Jarvis, let me do just a brief introduction for the YouTube channel. And just before I start, I'm Yolanda and he's Jordi. We are from Spain. So thank you for giving us this interview. So I'm gonna
Thank you.
start. Hello, friends of Stairway to Rock. Today we are with Jarvis from Night Demon because I think it's the 10th anniversary of his or their first album, Cursed. That the
Curse of the
Cures
The
Damned.
of
Curse
Yep.
of the
the
Dam.
Demon. Sorry, Cures of
Yeah.
the Dam.
That's okay.
And now they have released a new version of this album. So congrats! This version is gonna be released 5 of September, if I am not wrong. So
Correct.
congrats and welcome, Jarvis. How are you?
Thank you. Good, good.
Uh, I have to say that I have seen the pack, what you're going to issue, and wow, it's a dream for the fan. Vinyls, cassettes, posters. So it's the 10th anniversary. So what are you going to do for the 20th anniversary?
Yeah, nothing.
But it's a lot of
You
stuff.
know, yeah, th we didn't want to keep putting out different editions in the future. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like we wanted to just have a definitive box set that you can have now, and there's not going to be something later like, oh, we forgot to, or we're not holding anything back, right? So all the important stuff from that era is here. Because hey, look, we don't know how long we're gonna be around, like as people, even on this earth, right? So it's like we have the opportunity to do it now. We want to put everything in there we can, you know?
You are
But
gonna release, pardon.
no, excuse me.
You're gonna release also a kind of documentary in YouTube, but that's gonna be also a DVD or just a YouTube video, yeah, let's say.
It's the DVD in the box. It will not be on YouTube.
Okay. Okay, nice. And also a comic, if I am not wrong.
Yeah, the comic book came out when the album did, but the guy who did it, there was very limited copies, so not many people into the band got a copy of it. It's mainly was sold at like comic book conventions and comic book stores. So he let us reprint it. So now there's 1,000 more out there. So yeah,
Oh,
very cool.
nice. I have to say that it's really cool to see some interviews in the video because we as a journalist. So if you want to add this interview in the future in some DVD, we are also pleased to
Yeah,
that.
that would be cool. That would be cool for sure. Yeah, you never know. We archive and save everything, so that's we're able to do this later down the road. Because when you're doing stuff at the time, you never think like that you don't know the importance while you're doing it, right? So you think, and then you look back and you say, "Oh, I wish I had that," or "I wish," But so we save everything. So yes, this interview will be archived, and you never know; it could end up somewhere.
Mm, are Screams in the Night and The Howling Man the biggest classics of the album The Cures of the Dam?
I would say so. I would say so. Yes. They're definitely the two songs on the album that we've played the most live. When you
Hmm.
see the band live, we usually always play those two. I'm not really sure why that is, but it just kind of ended up that way. But now that we're revisiting the album and playing every song live, I kind of wonder sometimes, well, why didn't we play this song more often or something like this? But yeah, for some reason, those are the two that are been the most popular in our minds, from the album.
We saw you no yeah we saw you no last week
We,
joder, sorry, last
last year
year
we attended
Rock
that Rock Imperium
Imperium.
festival, and you
Yeah,
played
right.
there. But you played it twice, I think. You
We did.
play
Yeah.
with Siri Thungo too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had two shows that day. That it's not abnormal. I've done that many times, but it's not preferred. We like to play on separate days normally, but I got to do what I got to do, you know. Um, but it was nice, man. I really like that festival a lot, and I like everybody who works there, and we're hoping to come back. I know there was just another edition this year that just happened. Did you guys go to that?
Mhm.
Which one?
Yeah.
No,
Did you guys go to Rock Imperium this year?
Ah,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, very nice, huh?
But
Very good lineup. Yeah.
We were
yeah, but
seeing Satan, but you are not singing.
Yeah. No, 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 no. I'm just the manager for the band for Satan. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah,
nice.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, the lineup looked good this year. King Diamond, Night Demon just toured with King Diamond last year. Uh, The Cult, one of my favorite bands, they're there too. So I wish I could have been there this year, but I'm sure we will return to that festival. Yeah.
great to know. Okay.
But
Uh,
yeah.
can
No,
we say that you are the main reason for the return of Siri Thungo?
Um yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. There was a lot of people that tried to reunite them for many years, but I guess I was the most persistent, and it helped that I lived close to them and we were already friends, and they had for years not wanted to reunite at all, but they actually Night Demon is a big reason why, because they saw how well Night Demon was doing, and they thought, oh wow, people really do like heavy metal now, you know? So if you guys are doing it, let's give it a try. So yeah, it was a lot of work, but it's been fun. And it's been about 10 years now since we decided to reunite. It's hard to believe it's been that long, but yeah, it's all good. They're like a brother band to us, and the two bands work a lot together, and it's a good situation.
so my question now is your heart is 50-50 Sirithungol Naidimon or the
No, it's no, no. It's 99% Night Demon and 1% Sirathungal. And not because I don't love Sirathungal, I do. But Sirathungal is more of a family responsibility. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
no.
Yeah.
I try to, like, Night Demon is the um representation of me. So it's the best way that I can communicate myself to the world. Sirathungal is kind of like my sick mother that I have to take care of, you know? And I wouldn't say sick,
Wow,
but
yeah, it's a perfect description.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So, but I love my mother more than anything, right? And so
Yes.
I want to make sure that she looks good all the time and sounds good, and people can see her the way that they should see her. So with Sirathungal, I try, in the past at least, I've tried to stay away from the songwriting because I want the band to sound how they authentically sound. And now that we are doing some kind of newer music, I'm starting to write a little bit more. But in my mind, when I write music for Sirathungal, I pretend I'm somebody else. And it's not normally anything I would write. So I kind of try and channel the universe, whatever Sirathungal style, right? So that's the best way I could describe it. I know this sounds bad, but
Mhm.
I want to give an honest interview. You know, I don't like
Mhm.
when bands give interviews and you know they're lying. You know, I don't. I want to be honest.
Okay, in 2022, you played in Spain, opening for Midnight. I think that Midnight and Night Demon, it was a perfect match. So, how it was the experience playing with Midnight?
Oh, it was great. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Midnight is another band that I manage. I've managed them for 8 years now, for 8 years. So, um, coming out of the pandemic, it was like very difficult. Um, People were, it lasted so long, right? And people were very afraid to tour. And so I was talking with the guys at Midnight and the guys in Night Demon, and we said, let's try our hardest to just let's just go and and see if we could do this because we were two of the very first American bands to come back to Europe after the pandemic. A lot of the American bands they waited longer. They didn't come until 2023 or later in 2022. And we just said as soon as it was available, let's go. Let's do it. And it was a hard tour. It was hard to tour in those circumstances, but it worked out okay. And here we are, right? I mean, the world has kind of bounced back in a way. There's a lot of political bullshit, but at the same time, it's hard to imagine when we used to have to wear masks and social distance and stuff, right? So I'm glad that's over with. But that was that pairing. We decided the two bands were stronger together coming back out of the pandemic than each of us by ourselves, because the economy was shitty and people were not not everybody was ready to go to shows again. If you remember, it was like the attendances in 2022 were not high. So we decided we're stronger together than apart. So that's why we did that.
You were not scared about losing money, let's say, in some way?
Um, okay, let me phrase that this way. I Every day that I wake up, I am afraid of something. Always. Especially in this business, okay? But
Yeah, fair enough.
um yeah, but that I've learned that the thing that I'm most afraid of is the thing that I have to do. Because once I do these, that's how you know if something is really making you afraid. And if it's something you want to do that makes you afraid, obviously don't do anything you don't want to do. But if it's something you want to do and you're very afraid to do it, that I think is the spirits calling to you saying you have to have the courage to do this. It's not
Mm.
if it was easy, everybody would do it. And when things are easy, you never really feel satisfaction. It's kind of okay. Being making music and art is all about losing money. That's all it is. You lose money all the time, you know um but you have to look at the long term of things. Oh, did you freeze? Hold on.
No, now you come back.
Yeah, but you were freeze. I need to ask you, which bands are you managing now? Satan,
Oh,
Midnight?
what?
Yeah, we lose you completely.
Yeah.
Sirith, yeah, Sirathungal, Midnight. Oh, hold on. One second. One second.
Okay.
Okay. I get on the network. Hold on. How's this? Better?
Better. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Great. Uh, yeah. So Night Demon, Sirathungal, Satan, Midnight, Visigoth. Those are my main bands. I've been with these bands for years and years. I never wanted to be a band manager, but nobody was coming to manage our band, and I started doing it myself. And then the other bands, they were just friends of mine, and through the years, they would come to me for help. And then it turned out I just ended up doing the job, and it works well because all the bands are great heavy metal bands, but we're also so different from each other that it's
Mm.
kind of like a cool group. It's kind of a cool group of bands.
We have interviewed most of the bands, but not Visigoth and
Yeah.
Midnight. So we will ask you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, please ask me. I will do it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So how you manage all your time being manager, hosting a podcast, also
Mhm.
doing all this stuff and having two different bands?
It's very hard. The older I get, I realize how much harder it is. Uh, it's something I struggle with a lot, to be honest with you. Um, and I just kind of have to feel responsible for all these things. And so at the end of the day, I just put a lot of pressure on myself to deliver the best I can, you know? Everybody that I work with is pretty easygoing, so it makes it easier. And plus, when you're such close friends with somebody, it's like you want to do everything you can to help them too, you know? Um, but it does get harder because all of our bands have become more popular over the last 10 years. So more and more stuff happens.
Hmm.
But what I've realized is I've gotten I used to feel like that I had to do everything. But I realize now there's only time to do important stuff, right? So you can't answer every email from every fan that comes in. I try my best, you know, but you can't do everything. So you have to decide what's important. So every morning I kind of make a list of what's important. And I feel like with modern technology, right? With email, it's like I see email as like a request box from other people. And a lot of times we spend most of our time answering a request from somebody else, right? So
Sure.
I've had to learn to play offense instead of defense, like on a sports team, right? So if I if I have to have written down a clear-cut goal every day. Hey, here's a just two or three things at least that I want to accomplish today, and that comes before I even look at my phone, any text messages, phone calls, emails. I don't even look at them. Like I can't because once I get in there, oh my God. Or social media, if you think about it, if you're
Yeah.
scrolling in social media, you can scroll
For
and
for that
within
reason, a lot of bands now they are hiring community managers because they want to forget about social medias, or
yes. None of our bands run the social media. We have managers as well.
also okay.
I have to generate the content, you know, but still,
Yeah, that's true.
but when you think about the distraction of looking at social media, if you could see,
Also okay.
yeah, you could see within 60 seconds 10 different topics that are completely unrelated.
Yeah, I'm this kind of person, so
Yeah. Yeah, but think about how what your mind can only hold so much information, right?
yeah.
So I've been this kind of person too. So you're not alone. But I try now to be much better, to have an intention about it if I'm going to use it. Otherwise, it really makes me crazy, you know? No.
I wanted to ask you about the origin of the name. Why your name is Night Demon, but I have seen that you start your concerts with an opening track, Night of the Demon, of Demon.
Yeah.
So it makes a match. So
It had nothing to do with the band. Not at all. We started using that later because we love those guys, you know, but it had nothing to do with Demon. We at the time we formed the band 2011. We, you know, so many great names are taken already, right? You know, so many. That's why band names, newer bands have their names aren't so good because everybody's taken the good ones. But we just thought we wanted to have something that sounded kind of evil, but had two words with the same amount of letters in each word. So five and five. So we were just doing different combinations of words, and we thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Night Demon, you know? So I looked it up and no band had the name, and I was surprised. And so I said, okay. And then to take it one step further, do you know what sleep paralysis is? Have you heard of this?
Yeah,
Sleep paralysis.
parálisis del sueño, cuando sueñas
Ah,
algo y te despiertas.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
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 So this is something that I've suffered with my whole life. And I, as I was Googling the name Night Demon to see if there was any other bands, there was no bands, but what I did come across was research on sleep paralysis. And is in the medical or scientific field of sleep paralysis, people refer to this character um, as the night demon who
Oh.
like comes into the room as you're falling asleep. So I thought this is perfect. It just it lined up perfectly. So we for sure stuck with the name. Yeah.
Okay, my question about names. Leatherby, because I assume it's not your surname.
You know. So um when we started the band, our guitar player, well, first of all, I gotta say, when we started Night Demon, we had no goal of being a real band. All we wanted to do was make 4 songs, 7-inch record, and that was it.
Yeah,
We
just
were
for
never gonna,
fun, or
yeah, yeah, just for fun. We were never gonna play concerts or anything. We wanted to write a 4-song EP that was inspired by the new wave of British heavy metal. And we wanted people to think that this was a band from early 80s or late 70s that nobody had heard. And we made a 7-inch and we pressed it very old school, no digital printing or anything. The original 7-inch was offset printing, and we spilled some little like coffee on it, and so it looked like it was old. Yeah, and we sent it out to magazines and stuff, and so we said, well, we need some fake names, like because we can't use our real names because the people might know, who we are. So, and there was no photo of the band inside or anything either, right? So, our guitar player came up with these old school British names, and so he came up with this name for me, and I thought it was hilarious. And I would say about maybe 1.5 years went by, and people really started loving this record. And we decided, okay, let's go play some concerts now. Let's try this as a band. And the other guys in the band said, okay, I want to use my real name now. And I said,
oh,
I don't
come
want to.
on,
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I said,
betrayers.
yeah. And I said, well, in all fairness, I had been in other bands before, and I had a solo career. And actually, I played a lot in Spain with my other band, which had my real name in the title. Okay, I was a solo artist. I was a solo
Now
artist.
you have to say it.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. You can discover it. You can
Oh,
discover
come
it. It's
on.
it's easy to find. It's easy to find. Trust me. Come on, do the research. You
Okay,
will
okay.
realize at
Wow.
what it is. It's not metal. It's not metal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I will.
Jordi, you
Oh,
are
you're looking
the
right now,
encyclopedia.
huh?
Wow, it's something that I miss. I'm going to check later. Yeah, but I'm
Okay, okay.
surprised. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
share.
sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, we have a friend that is really fan of you, and he was remembering me to say to you that he was in the first concert that you play in Rock Sound in Barcelona, and you were giving the demo of the CDs just printed at home, but signed by you. But
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was not even a real album, and he really likes that memory.
Those are very, very valuable, the CD. So I hope he keeps it because
Yeah.
I've seen them on eBay for 300 euro. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. We ran out of copies, so I already had a solo career in Europe, so I said I'd like this name, I'm gonna keep it, and I thought it was funny. And then the band started pressuring me, hey, you should have a Facebook page or whatever with and I said, no, I'm not gonna go this far. And then eventually I caved in and I did it. And then everybody has known me since more than 10 years now by this name, and I even my parents call me this, so I don't even know when people say my real name to me, I don't even answer to it anymore. I have a hard time, like I forget, but uh I haven't legally changed it.
But Jarvis
Um
is neither real.
no, no,
Ah, okay.
no, no.
I thought that was only the surname. Ah,
No, no, no. We created all fake names, full names of everybody in the band. So but I haven't legally changed it. I thought about doing it before, but it's kind of nice not to do it because when I go to customs or something to another country, it's not like they see all this information on me. They kind of see me as how I was before, right?
hmm.
But if for people, I'm not a weirdo about it. Like for people that know me from before in my life, call me by my birth name. Of course, it's fine.
Yeah,
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. I have to have a fun with this kind of stuff. You can't take yourself too seriously, right?
no, sure, yeah.
Uh,
I need to ask you about your mascot, Rocky.
yeah.
Why a hooded guy holding an axe? German Thrasher's Warren had the Enforcer as a mascot,
Mhm.
and had it's closer to your Rocky, I think.
You think it looks like Rocky, the guy from Enforcer?
No, Enforcer, no, Warrant. Warrant?
Warrant.
Warrant, the German band, not
No,
the.
okay.
I don't know if
Well,
you.
I didn't know about Warrant until years later. I was listening to a different Warrant from LA, Cherry Pie, right? That's the Warrant that I knew.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, look, our mascot was a guy who was the difference between our mascot, and we have more than one mascot, obviously. There's Eugene, who's on the cover of Curse of the Damned. What I loved bands that had mascots. What I didn't like is they never had a story. Never. They were just, oh, they're there, Um, but we always created a backstory for our people, So Rocky was like an ancient like demon priest who has the chalice, the holy grail of everlasting life, and he travels around through the spirit world in different dimensions and shows up in different times of history. That's the story of Rocky. And so he comes out live during the song The Chalice. And yeah,
Mhm.
it's fun for us. We like to create a lot of stories behind, everything, even the artwork.
So can we say that it's when you play the chalice, it's shock rock, more or less?
It's hard to be shocking with anything these days. We've seen everything, I think it's just creates some kind of fun, you know, because the song material is so serious sometimes. You have to create some fun and some energy, you know. We're there to entertain people in a concert, so we like to have these mascots come out every now and again for stuff.
Jordi was mentioned shock rock, and I want to talk about labels because you are now labeled as new wave of traditional heavy metal. My question is, do we need, in fact, all these labels? Why don't only heavy metal and that's all?
Tax.
I would love, I would
Sorry?
love that. That's an excellent, yeah, that's an
Cool.
Ah.
excellent, that's an excellent question. I would love to be. I see us as a heavy metal band, Um, Now, the press and journalists and the fans, they're always going to be the ones that tell you this stuff, right? They're gonna be the ones that decide and start telling people what genre you're in. If you think about heavy metal, right? Like how many subgenres do we have now? Hundreds, hundreds.
Mm.
There's a new one all the time. Um, I know why they call us that for sure, because there's a next generation of bands playing in the more traditional style. Um, but if you listen to Night Demons music, especially going up through our last album, which was a concept album, And the next one we're going to release, which nobody's heard, obviously, we have we progress a lot in our sound. We're not a band that makes a lot of albums, and we don't put out an album every year, and we don't do like an AC/DC or Slayer thing where it's like every album kind of, what you're going to get, it sounds the same. I'm trying to find here something I want to show you. Let's see. One moment. Uno momento, por favor.
Is
Oh,
new album
yes.
cover?
No, 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 no. But this is when we started as a band in 2011, we created a business card.
Ah, okay. Really old fashioned.
Yeah, read what it says.
Heavy metal. Yeah.
Heavy metal. That's it
Plain? Yeah.
on there. Heavy metal, right? So it's especially because if you want to talk about subgenres, if you listen to our music, it sounds like heavy metal. It sounds like if you were in the 70s or 80s and you heard heavy metal, that's what it would sound like. So it's like, why call us something else? New wave of traditional heavy metal? Probably because we are the next generation of bands. If you talk to, I've talked to a lot of the new wave of British heavy metal bands from the late 70s and early 80s, and they will tell you they hated being called this. And even if you look at the big three like Saxon, Iron Maiden, and Def Leppard, they refuse to even mention that term
Yeah.
ever, right? So you can't control what people call you, but at the same time, it's fair, right? I think you have to identify things as something. It's like when you watch film. When you watch film, if you want to say to somebody, watch Nightmare on Elm Street. They're gonna say, "Oh, what kind of movie is that?" You have to say, "Oh, it's a horror movie." You can't say it's
Hmm.
a comedy. Even though there is funny elements in it, right? There is a love story in there, some of them, right? But the overarching theme is it's a horror. So I think that's just how humans work and how we identify with things. But I love to break the norm and do stuff outside of what people would think that it is. And that's not being a traitor or genre crossing. It's just expanding what you do as a musician. And like you don't want to be bored. You don't want to write the same song over and over again. Um
Sure.
one thing that I can say, I think what's made Night Demon possibly more successful is we're pretty honest with our approach to the imagery of the band as well. I feel like there's a lot of new wave of traditional heavy metal bands, right? That
Hmm.
they everything they do, from every note they play to every piece of clothing they wear, they're trying to pretend like it is 1985 and this is some kind of a time machine or something. And it makes it a novelty, and I feel like it's hard to take as that so seriously because the bands that they're trying to be exactly like are still playing today. So yeah, I mean, I would go see the original. um so I think I would never tell any band what to do. I think everybody has the freedom to do whatever they want, but if the more you can be yourself and still love the past and infuse that into who you are, the more success you're going to have. Because I think the fans really appreciate, they want to see people for who they are, not who they want to be.
Okay, something that I hate. What is your opinion about the people that love to record your concert with his mobile phone? He can
Oh,
enjoy the concert. It's
I yeah,
pandemic.
I absolutely hate it too. Recently we were in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and somebody posted online me being very angry and saying I stopped the concert because everybody was filming. I feel like almost everybody. And I said, okay, if you want us to keep performing, everybody, the phones, they have to go away. And they did it. And 30 seconds later, they came back and I stopped again. And then this clip of me ends up online going, put the fucking phones away, put the fucking phones away. So it was a bit embarrassing, but I mean it, you know, I mean, one thing that's cool about Night Demon is since 2019, we film every show video ourselves with professional video cameras and we multi-track record the shows and mix them. So we have a better record. We have a better representation of the concert you were at. So if you want to see that, we have it. And it looks good and it sounds good. You cannot enjoy the concert through the phone. And I find it hard to believe that people are actually going home and watching the concert on their phone. I don't even think they watch it. I think they film it
Probably no.
and maybe
No.
post it, and that's it, you know? So I don't know. It's hard. Is it as an artist, should I feel good because people are appreciating it enough to document it? Or should I feel, I don't know. I feel that you're not in the moment when you're there, and you have to be in the moment. And a lot of us look at the past and the future, and that's how we live in fear, right? When you can live in the moment, everything else dies, you know? I don't know if you've ever had a gun pulled on you, but
No.
I've had a gun pulled on me twice, and
In United States?
once in Mexico and once in the United States. And it you never feel more alive than in those moments, you know. The past doesn't matter and the future is just a wish.
No,
Uh
but it's not a moment that I want to live, in fact. So
no, no,
I'm
no, but I'm no,
fine.
yeah, I'm not recommending it. All I'm saying is when you have something like this happen in your life, or if you maybe nearly die or something, you really appreciate the present time. You appreciate the now. And the present time is the only thing that exists. You know, me talking to you right now, this is the only real
Mm.
thing ever, you know? And when I go see concerts, I I remember those moments and I say, I want to be here now with what's happening. With the music's coming to hit my ears, it's happening now. It's not before, it's not later. It's here, you know, and that's all you have is now, you know.
I think that it's time to go for the classic questions.
So
Or you put
just
something.
one before about the new album. No, I think it's mandatory to talk a little bit. No, because you say that you are working right now in the new
Oh
album.
yeah, sure. But it's not gonna happen soon. It's but maybe 2027.
Okay. Wow,
We take our
yeah.
time.
So,
We take our time. I've read
Yeah.
we've recorded 4 songs already and they're no good. Like they're okay, but they're not good enough. I listen back and I'm like, I think we could do better, you know. We spend a lot of time with this stuff.
oh,
Yeah.
really honest. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, what's the first album you bought with your own money?
Oh, a band called Oingo Boingo. They were a band in the 80s. They had a song called Dead Man's Party. Um, but the album I bought was called No Spill Blood. And so the main songwriter, he was the guitar player and the singer. You may know him. His name is Danny Elfman. He went on to do the score for the movies, all the Tim Burton movies.
Simpson.
So this was his band in the 80s, and they were fantastic. I would highly recommend people check it out. Oingo Boingo. Yeah. It sounds funny, but it's very good stuff, man. Yeah.
Okay, so the second classic question. You can have all the money in the world, for spend in a live concert, which trick would you like to do? Like fireworks,
Lasers.
lasers.
Yeah, that's so good that you asked that because with Night Demon, obviously we're not a huge band, but we do always a lot of production. We do it we've always managed to find ways. It's funny, if you do it smaller, it works better, right? So the less money you have, the more creativity you have, right? Much like it really, because if you have, it's just like making a film. When you see this Transformers movie, 230 million, you end up just spending all the money and then having a bunch of fake things, right? Um, I find that if you have less money, you have handmade stuff, more authentic. Like what we're doing right now with Curse of the Damned, we have two candles on stage, not 100, two, right? Um, we have a costume made by hand of the mascot, Eugene. We have a book, like that's from the cover that we made. I'll show you here by hand. Sorry, with my background. Why is this not showing up? Oh, because it's black.
Yes,
How is this?
it's
Come
I am
on.
very
same
with the
color.
t-shirt. Put on your
Yes.
face.
Yeah, right. So we have this book that, oh,
Yeah.
fuck. What the fuck
Yeah,
with my back?
we
Hold on.
saw more or less.
Okay. Anyway, so we're always thinking about cool production, but if I had all the money to answer your question, we've done pyro before. We had some things where a venue almost caught on fire, so I want to stay away from this now. Lasers are definitely something that we've been considering too. You don't need a lot of money for lasers, but if I had no budget, all the budget, right, I would want to do a magic show. So I would want to make a thing where when Rocky comes on stage, after the chalice, he throws down a thing on the ground and a puff of smoke comes and he disappears. So like real magic tricks,
Yeah, yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Like real magician stuff.
I
Like,
like this answer. Yeah,
yeah,
really
yeah,
original, but wow.
yeah. Well, like I said, we're here to entertain, right? So I want to give the audience something, an illusion, where they could be like, they don't expect it. And it's like, wow, what the fuck? Like, because everybody's seen all the lights, they've seen the lasers, it's cool. I love that stuff too. But I want to give them something that just completely blows their mind and say, how did they do this? But listen, even with the little money we have, I'm still working on this, you know? It can be
Yeah.
done.
Do you remember the first time you cried at a concert? What band was playing and what song moved you so deeply?
Yes. Yes. Ozzy Osbourne. Uh, it was 1996. It was 1996 at the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles. I saw Ozzy Osbourne, and I think I cried when he played "Goodbye to Romance." uh,
Ballad.
yeah, and I'm trying to think what other concerts I've cried at. Not many. I cried at. Do you know the band the Pixies?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
they're one of my favorite bands, and I saw them. They reunited in 2004, I believe, and I saw them in concert, and I cried a little because I never thought I would ever see them. I also cried when I saw Kiss, same year, 1996, in makeup. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, but I try not to cry anymore at concerts.
Interesting. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, finally, I think we are out of time, but
Yeah.
I need